right now, 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 right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the massive movement on the Bitcoin price that happened just over the last couple of days. As you guys have probably seen, there are headlines all over the place talking about how we have watched Bitcoin drop down to fresh new lows, and in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live, we are going to be taking a very close look at that price action, looking at why Bitcoin dropped down to those new levels, what that means for the future price action of Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at a major pattern that Bitcoin currently finds itself in that has some significantly bearish implications, and we're also going to be continuing to look at Twitter 2.0. As you guys know, Twitter 2.0 is essentially the new crazy form of Twitter that Elon Musk has decided to go ahead and kick off, and we are going to be taking a look at what that means for the new employees and the current employees and future employees at Twitter. I do apologize if something is wrong with my camera. We're going to have to do a little bit of a test here. We came in to set up the stream, and for some reason, our tripods were a little bit off, and the camera settings have been changed. Not really sure how that happened, but either way, if things are a little wonky today, I'll have to get that fixed. We're not quite sure how that occurred. Nobody who works for us did that, so we're not really sure what took place there. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and read some chat here. Daniel J. said, first, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Grand Roofing Incorporated was the second. Thank you very much, Grand Roofing Incorporated. That's becoming a thing. Looks like Daniel J. said, good morning, Grand Roofing Incorporated, with the musical notes. Let's see. Jeremy Shorter in chat said, woohoo, another day of low rates to buy in at. Absolutely right. Justin Eubanks said, good morning, gang. Good morning. Crypto Ben Franklin said, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Justin Eubanks said, at GM at Crypto Jebb. How's Sarah feeling? Sarah is, she's doing okay. I mean, I suppose we're going to be, 19 weeks pregnant this week, I think. 19 weeks on Thursday. Do I have that right? I have that right? Yeah, she's standing behind camera, just so you know, over there answering your emails that you send to support@cryptojebb.com. We're going to be 19 weeks pregnant this Thursday, and she gets hit really, really hard with morning sickness, and it is very difficult for her. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm going to do a little thing here. These headphones are actually plugged into the wrong place. Let me just plug these in over here so I can monitor my own audio. Doing some technical direction on the fly. There we go. Now I can hear myself. But anyway, yeah, she's been, we're very blessed, but it has been a hard couple of months with, all the pregnancy symptoms. I told you guys that she suffers really, really badly from morning sickness and from something called hyperemesis, which means she can vomit like 3-4 times a day, sometimes more. So it's been hard, but we're getting there, and we're all very blessed for everything that we have. Grand Roofing said, well, if I am second, at least it shows that I was the first to give a thumbs up. Everybody exit chat and give Jebb and his family a thumbs up since he's feeling under the weather. Thanks for the support, everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate all of you bearing with me as we've been shooting from the house recently. I have been sick ever since pretty much we were at the house. Sarah's obviously been sick for like 3.5 months on and in and out, but I can't hear out of my left ear. I need to figure that out. I don't know. I think I have some kind of head cold that turned into an TMI. The point is, we're not feeling great, but we're here, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Matt C. in chat, Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball in chat, Adam Rorick in chat. Let's see, who else? Justin Eubanks, Adam Rorick. I think I got all of our green names here. So we're going to go ahead and jump on over to a very important screen, and that screen would be none other than CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap. we're going to take a look at CoinMarketCap. And the reason we're going to take a look at CoinMarketCap is because, let me just see if it'll actually pop up again. Because just so you know, before I do this, because I think it's going to give me a pop-up that I want to show you, CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance. And if you'll remember, Changpeng Zhao at CZ_Binance tweeted quite a lot over the last several weeks about how there needs to be Merkle tree proof of reserves for all exchanges. I don't know if I'll be able to find it very quickly, but if an exchange hold users' assets as is, no amount of other people's tweets will cause problems. Simple. That's true. But CZ said in one tweet down here that there needs to be Merkle tree proof of reserves for all cryptocurrency exchanges. And we pretty much said on this stream a couple of weeks ago, that he needs to be held accountable for that. Now, here's one of my concerns, is that CZ said this on November 8th, the day that all of this went down. And let me just see if I can find the tweet. I don't know if I can find the tweet here that quickly, but CZ did say something to the effect of the fact that there needs to be Merkle tree proof of reserves. But he retweeted this. This was November 8th. 1, never use a token you created as collateral. 2, don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently. Have a large reserve. Binance has never used BNB for collateral, and we have never taken on debt. This is a tweet that I told you guys we have to hold CZ accountable to. And the time has come that we're going to have to hold him accountable, not so much to the exact words of this tweet, but to the heart of this tweet. And the heart of the tweet is that, well, actually, to the actual words as well. Never use a token you created as collateral, and don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently. Have a large reserve. Here we go. Here it is right here. All crypto exchanges should do Merkle tree proof of reserves. Bank on traditional finance, fractional reserves. Crypto exchanges should not. At Binance will do proof of reserves soon. Full transparency. And this is true. They have done this. All of this is going to tie into what we're going to say over on CoinMarketCap. Because remember, Changpeng Zhao founded Binance. Binance owns CoinMarketCap, which we use quite frequently. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh the page and see if it'll pop up. It doesn't look like it's actually going to give me the pop-up. No, it only did it one time. It must have, if I cleared my cookies, it might do it again. But if you go on CoinMarketCap for the first time, it is going to give you a pop-up, and it's going to show you a functionality right up here in the exchanges. If you come up here to CoinMarketCap, go to exchanges, all of the exchanges that are participating in this now have this little button right here. Exchange reserves data available. Naturally, Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange, so their exchange data is available. But also KuCoin, Bitfinex, OKX, Bybit. This is a pretty cool one that Bybit, a lot of people have knocked on Bybit as to whether or not they had reserves. According to this, they do. And you can see there are other ones like Huobi, Crypto.com exchange. Here's a good one. We can look in this here in a minute. We're actually going to back out for just a second and look at Binance. So if you click on one of these buttons here, it will show you the exchange's reserves. This is something that I have been shouting about ever since FTX went under, and this is a very, very, very big deal. One of the things that is a concern to me, though, is not the fact that Binance has $66 billion in assets. That's wonderful. I like to see that. That's a lot of assets to back up a lot of withdrawals that could take place. One of my concerns is this. If you come down here to the financial reserves, you can even come in here and view the sources. I think if you bring up another tab, it'll come up over here. I'm not really sure why it's linking to Binance's blogs, but regardless, it does have a link here. You can see the value of all of these different cryptocurrencies, and you can see that Binance, first of all, is holding 33%. And this is funny because Binance CEO came out and said this. He said, never use a token you created as collateral. 33.49% of their collateral, of their reserves, if you will. I mean, it says financial reserves right here, and this is not like CoinMarketCap is using a term that Binance wouldn't. Binance owns CoinMarketCap. You see what I mean? So these are their financial reserves. Binance has 1/3 of their token allocation in their own stablecoin. So we're going to talk about TA and, get to that and everything. But first, I have a bone to pick with CZ. Because you're going against exactly what you said. In your tweet, you said 2 lessons. 1, never use a token that you created as collateral. 2, if you don't borrow if you run a crypto business, you don't use capital efficiently, have a large reserve. 2, as far as I'm aware, you are in compliance with. I don't know that Binance has taken out massive debt, and I don't know that, and they do have a massive reserve. $66 billion is a ton of value in reserve. Maybe they only need $10 billion in reserves, and the rest of that is for the sake of investment. Maybe they don't need any of that Binance USD stablecoin to act as reserve, but instead that's just where they're holding capital. That's potential. That's potentially the truth. And hopefully CZ can come out in a tweet, or it can be clarified on CoinMarketCap what the deal is there. But he's flying straight in the face, unless we have a clarification, he's flying straight in the face of exactly what he said in a tweet that has 20,000 retweets, myself retweeting it included, that says never use a token you created as collateral. Well, then why is a third of the value that Binance is holding sitting in Binance USD? We're talking $22 billion. After that, 23.77% of it is sitting in UST. First of all, let me just give credit where credit is due to Binance. I love that combined, they have $37 billion in US dollars. The problem that I have is that those $37 billion are in stable coins. One of them, the exchange owns, and the other one has a long history of people not being able to be certain that it is actually backed one-to-one. That's something I'd like to see over here as well, is I'd like to see US dollar Tether and all of the stable coins having an audit on their reserves to prove that they actually have the backing and that they are not just cryptocurrencies created out of thin air. That's what I would like to see, is not just the exchanges having transparent reserve data, although I think this needs to be adopted as an industry standard. I think this is a great step in the right direction as a start, but those other exchanges need to have the same thing. Now, for example, you can also see Binance is holding $500 million worth of Jebb. Not really too sure why that is. And in another wallet, they're holding $250 million worth of Jebb. They've got $250 million worth of Link. They've got just tons and tons of wallets. You can see all the wallets. They've got 2 wallets with 900 million Chili's in it. Chili's is a very interesting project that they're invested in. So really interesting what's going on here. The main question that I would have for CZ is, why are we looking at 33% of their exchange's reserves sitting in Binance USD? You might think, Jebb, that's just a little bit pedantic. They've got $66 billion in cryptocurrency assets. Who gives a crap? Why does it matter if they have so much of their money in their own stablecoin? Well, don't forget, the entire reason that FTX went bankrupt in the first place is because they had so much of their reserves sitting in a token that they created, and when something happened to the token, they lost so much money in their reserves that they were not able to pay out their creditors, and they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and caused a $7,000 crash on Bitcoin. $250 billion evaporated in 2 weeks because they did that. Binance is an order of magnitude 10 times larger than FTX. Massively larger. 7, 8, 9, 10 times larger. So why are they keeping that much of their value in Binance USD? Let's take a look at something here, because this is something else I want you to know. Take a look here. Binance USD has a $22 billion market cap. The problem here is, and it's really funny that CZ put out this data and his Binance put out this data, because it's a little bit condemning and they need to do something about it. They have $22 billion worth of reserves in BUSD. So do you mean to tell me, CZ and Binance, that you hold literally all of the Binance USD? Because the token is worth $22 billion at $22,800 million. Your reserves are worth $22,297 million. So what gives? Are you holding 99.5% of BUSD? Well, it's completely worthless then, because you can just say it's worth whatever the heck you want because you hold 99.5% of it. No, that's not the case. It's a fully diluted market capitalization. If they ever tried to liquidate that much Binance, they would depeg the stablecoin and they would crash the market. If they tried to liquidate more than a few $1 billion worth of that BUSD, they would crash the market. Because you cannot have them holding $22.297 billion worth of BUSD, and the entire stablecoin market capitalization, according to their own website, is only $22.8 billion. So I'm glad that these books, or at least these financial reserves, are now starting to become transparent. And it brings up a very serious question as to why Binance has allocated so much of their money in this way. Is CZ posting this data on CoinMarketCap in such a way that he could just kind of show off, like, look at our $66 billion reserves? Unless you have the money to back up all of those $22 billion worth of BUSD, they are worth a whole lot less than $22 billion, maybe $3 or $4 billion, because you would depeg the currency, destroy your cryptocurrency asset, tarnish your brand, and collapse your exchange if you tried to sell all of that to cover a bank run. So they don't actually have $66 billion because they can't access $66 billion. It's a bit like what Elon Musk is in right now. The guy might have $150 billion worth of Tesla stock, but if he actually tried to sell $50 billion of it, he would crash the price and cause the rest of his stock to lose a massive amount of money because of the open market. Now, you could say that they traded on OTC, but who's going to buy $5 billion worth of BUSD? Where are you going to find a buyer for that? You're not going to find a buyer for that. You're just not. So that would be my concern with that. That would be my concern there. Let me go ahead and take a look at chat over here. We're going to take a look at the charts here in a little while. Just want to read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Adam Rourke said, at Matt C. Morning, sir. Hello to Matt C. Let's see here. Pressure is a privilege. Yeah, let's see. You sound better, Jebb. My voice is sounding better. My voice doesn't hurt as much. Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball said, morning sickness doctor here. He is a doctor. He's the Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball. So here's some advice for you, Sarah. Ginger has a scientific support for nausea. Most pure ginger tea is Tazo's spicy ginger tea. Amazing. Cool. Yeah, she the ginger and like Sprite and Sierra Mist and anything like lemon lime has been helpful for her. And also drinking casein powder at night. Casein protein powder has helped because her stomach's not empty all the way through the night. Grand Roofing Incorporated also said, let's see. Yeah, you're talking to somebody else. Okay, so yeah, by the way, the FIFA World Cup is actively ongoing, absolutely. Oh crap, shall I be withdrawing a large portion of my trading account from Binance US? This is actually Binance proper. I don't think this is Binance US. Let me see if they have a differentiation here for Binance.us. I don't know if they do. They do. Okay, Binance US is over here, and they don't have Binance US's finances public just yet, their reserves public just yet. But the concern with that would be that if something did happen to Binance, something's going to happen to Binance US as well. So just keep in mind, this is a massive exchange. Binance dwarfs the competition by huge margins. I mean, they're getting 15 million weekly visits. You can see these insights over here. KuCoin's getting 2 million. I mean, Coinbase is getting 1 million. Binance is getting 15 million, and they have the most number of markets by far and a massive amount of fiat currencies supported. They are the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. So anyway, I think I've made my point there. CZ, I need you to give us an explanation, and the industry needs you to give us an explanation for why you have so many of your reserves in BUSD. And as you have talked about over on Twitter, scrutiny on exchanges is actually a very good thing. So I'd like to have a little bit more of an explanation of this, because as you said right here, you have 90 million customers as of 3 months ago, and you are one of the largest financial companies on the planet, not just in cryptocurrency. So we need to know what's going on with that. Anyway, taking a step back, let's go ahead and take a look at the price action of Bitcoin. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I appreciate your checking. I'm back up on a roof with my headset on. There you go. Boom. Be very careful up there, man. Doing good work. All right, so Bitcoin currently sitting at $16,000. Ethereum sitting at $1,125. Tether, USDC, and Binance still pegged, doing well. BNB sitting at $263. It's nice that Binance is not heavily invested in their own coin, but never use a token you create as collateral. The stable coin is a token, so you're not using Binance, BNB as a collateral, and that's what you said right here. But what you didn't say, and what you kind of left out and alluded to but didn't say, so you could cover yourself, CZ, is that you were using BUSD for $20 billion of collateral. So it's concerning. The question is, do they need that? What are their liabilities? That's something I'd like to see added here too. What are their current liabilities? What are their deposits? Does Binance have $200 billion deposited on the platform? Does it have $40 billion deposited on the platform? Because that really matters. Having this number doesn't mean anything unless you know how many liabilities they have, to know whether or not they can reconcile those in the event of a cryptocurrency exchange bank run. So that's what we would like to see on that as well. Really, really, really important that we pay very close attention to this exchange reserve data, guys, because this is potentially going to start a new trend in cryptocurrency where exchanges are forced to publish their reserves. They absolutely need to. Don't let up the pressure. We need to see what their reserves are, and we need to be able to have confidence in them. make sure that you don't let up on these exchanges having reserve data posted. Cardano sitting at 31 cents, up 1.48%. Dogecoin sitting at 7 cents. Polygon Matic sitting at 85 cents. Polkadot sitting at 528. DAI sitting at $1, which is where it should be. Litecoin sitting up at 70. I remember when I got into cryptocurrency, the first crypto I ever bought was a quarter coin of Litecoin, and that was when Litecoin was trading at $41.02. It has not done very well over the last several years. I would not personally invest too much in Litecoin. It is a cryptocurrency that had a lot of potential, but the problem is it's just so similar to Bitcoin. It doesn't have the differentiation factor that it really needs. But jumping on over to Bitcoin, let's take a look here at what we're looking at. Let's take a look here at the market and see what it's doing. We're going to take a close look at LuxAlgo, because if you guys don't remember, if we just go to luxalgo.com, LuxAlgo right now has a lifetime deal going on, and this is the last time that they're ever going to have this lifetime deal. If you look down here, this is what I'm being told by the CEO. You can see here, the lifetime sale saves you an infinite amount of money, because if you don't get the lifetime, you have to pay $67 a month or $143 a quarter or about $500 yearly. But if you pay that $997, you will get LuxAlgo forever, saving infinity, as it says here. And you're also going to get this backtesting system, which is currently in beta, but it's only available for the next 7 days as this sale runs. This backtesting system will allow you to use all of LuxAlgo's features and backtest them to see which ones have the best win rate and what strategy you should use. So I show you guys my strategy on LuxAlgo quite frequently, talking about the trend catcher, the EQ cloud, the reversal zones, the LuxAlgo buy and sell signals, and many, many more. Well, if you get the LuxAlgo backtesting system, which is only available for a limited time through the lifetime sale, then you can actually have their proprietary software in TradingView, which will allow you to backtest through markets and see what will best support you in your trading endeavors. That backtesting system alone is worth the money, but you're also getting an incredible indicator called LuxAlgo. So let's take a look at what LuxAlgo is doing. If you remember, yesterday, we were looking at this chart, this period of time right here, and we watched Bitcoin drop down live. If you will remember, we were breaking to the downside right here, and we had said, okay, LuxAlgo is going into a strong sell signal. This is all on yesterday's stream, so go back and watch this if you don't believe me or if you haven't seen it. We had a strong sell signal right here. Then we saw the EQ cloud converging on itself. Then we saw the market drop down almost to the reversal zones, and we saw Bitcoin rejecting off of the top of the EQ cloud, and we saw Lux Oscillator turning bearish. That indicated to us that we were likely about to see trend catcher turn red, because a lot of other indicators were bearish, so we were likely going to see that one turn bearish as well. We watched and predicted live the break to the downside right here at 15,891, and then we bounced up a little bit, and a little bit after stream, we had that red trend catcher, and then boom, it's confirmed. From that point forward, Bitcoin was trading right here. We saw Bitcoin drop 3.48% to the downside over the next 4.5 hours. And LuxAlgo called it, and we were able to use LuxAlgo to call that movement on yesterday's live stream. We saw Bitcoin trying to fight above this uptrend right here. It tried and it tried and it tried, but eventually it was not able to succeed. And around 2 p.m. yesterday, we dropped very sharply down to $15,581, and then we dropped all the way down to $15,463 and change yesterday. The reason that's so significant is because that is now a fresh new low below the low that we saw back here at the beginning of this drop after FTX went belly up. You can see the day that that happened was back here, Wednesday, November the 9th. I will go ahead and draw the box right here, coming up to the bottom. We saw the bottom happen here at 5 p.m. Wednesday, November 9th, 2022 at $15,509. Bitcoin dropped to the lowest low that it has seen in over 2 years. You can see the blue line right here. We have not seen Bitcoin drop this low since November of 2020. 2 years ago in a couple of days. We are in a very, very, very bearish predicament right now, and it lines up with what we're seeing on LuxAlgo. We've seen Bitcoin drop sharply down here into the LuxAlgo bullish reversal zone, and then we've seen Bitcoin try and bounce out of it but not be able to. From that point, we've also seen Bitcoin break to the downside again, and it's trying to recover right now, but it's setting fresh lows. And if we look down here on the 4-hourly chart, you can see that Bitcoin is currently forming a descending triangle pattern. This is a concern, and the reason that this is a concern is because descending triangle patterns following a break to the downside, as we saw here, typically are very bearish. On top of that, remember what we talked about yesterday. We talked about how whenever the reversal zones on LuxAlgo are starting to converge very sharply right here, it generally indicates you're about to see a major movement movement, a major break in volatility. See how the reversal zones were converging here, and then we saw them widen in a major break of volatility. Well, we'd likely be seeing the same thing here, and the reversal zones will probably go something like that as we see Bitcoin break to the downside, or it could break to the upside. But the reason I'm a little hesitant on that is because we have this downtrend right here, and above that downtrend is the EQ cloud, and also our stop loss is up here for the short position, because remember, we had a short a sell signal come into play right here. Then we saw trend catcher turn red. It called this entire movement to the downside, negative 25% in 36 hours. This strong sell signal called all of it and dropped the price of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin very, very, very quickly. It called this movement, and now what Lux Algo is saying is that Bitcoin has a take profit down here as low as $14,000, which is on the bottom of the reversal zone. So for Bitcoin to get down here, it's either going to have to drop so quickly that it punches through the reversal zone, or it's going to have to drop a little bit slower and give time for the reversal zone to fall down so it doesn't actually fall on the outside of it. That is pretty rare. We saw it happen over here when we were just having a waterfall cascade to the downside. But oftentimes what you're going to see happen instead is that Bitcoin is not going to have that cascading movement to the downside. It is going to move a little bit slower, and we would probably be moving down towards those take profit zones right down here between 14.2 and 15 flat. So the reason that all matters is because if we do see Bitcoin breaking below $15,000, it's very hard to argue that we're not going to see Bitcoin go down to 13.8, because that's the next major level of support. The next major level of support is $13,800, and frankly, it's not that far away now. We've been talking about 13.8 for a year and how it is a possible retracement zone for Bitcoin to go to, and it seemed like it was so far off, but now it's really not. This descending triangle pattern, if we just draw a price target right here, actually has a price target down here at like $12,000. So Bitcoin dropping down to 13.8 would be in no way surprising. In fact, it would be a very good thing in my book, because it would allow us to have some confidence in the support that Bitcoin is currently trading on. If we were to even look here at VPVR, you can see that the VPVR has a local level of support, not a local level of support, but it starts building support on itself based on all of this price action back here at about $12,100. So the area that I'm looking for Bitcoin to go into now, and we would deploy more capital in investment if we did see this occur, we would be looking for Bitcoin to go to between, in my opinion, $12,135 and $13,791. So that's our prediction based on price action, but let's see what Lux Algo has to say about that. Let's take a look here at Lux Algo out on the daily chart. Well, it just so happens that Lux Algo has a strong sell signal right here with a take profit at its low down here at 12,800 in the very middle of that drop. Looking down on the weekly chart, you can see the take profit zone for the sell signal that came into play back here in January, which is called all of this. I mean, Lux Algo is just absolutely killing it right now. That take profit drops all the way down to 11.8, which we're looking at 12.1. So that's pretty much where we are, is that we're looking to go down in that territory. And by the way, don't forget what the weekly chart looks like here, because it can be very tempting to say, oh, Bitcoin, it's not down $700 where it used to be. It's doing better, right? It's going to do well. Well, think about this. We saw 3 green in a row. Then we saw this gigantic red candlestick. And then this is what we're looking at. Does this really look like bullish reversal to you? Does this look like bullish strength to you? No, it looks like a market responding to FUD. And there's a lot of it. There's a whole lot of FUD. There's also a whole lot of concern about what's going to come out with CPI data on December 14th. We can just come over here to CME Fed Predictor. A lot of people are worried about us still having a 75 basis point rate hike. And by the way, this probability just jumped. This was sitting at 85% probability of a 50 basis point rate hike. Now it's sitting at 75. So it's gotten a little bit more likely that we'll see another 75 basis point rate hike. But even if the rate hike does come down to 50 basis points, that doesn't guarantee that February 1st meeting is going to be 25. That doesn't guarantee that the Fed's trying to plateau. It could mean that they're just slowing their ascent. And if you do see 50 basis points, don't forget that's slowing down, but that's still increasing the cost of money in the United States economy, indicating that we're going to see the Dixie continue to grow. The Dixie could continue to have a rally here. If the Dixie bounces here and moves to the upside, then that's going to spell bad news for Bitcoin, and you could see Bitcoin drop down to those $13,000 regions. Or you can see 50 basis points come in, and the other world national banks, national reserve banks, come in and start having even more aggressive rate hikes, and then you see the Dixie go into a head and shoulders, and it dives down here to 100, and that sets up Bitcoin for a bull run in the next 3 to 6 months. That's also a possibility, but I don't know that we're quite out of the woods yet. I think we're getting close, though. And so that's what I really want to harp on here. Not harp on, but that's the thing I really want to focus on here, is I think Bitcoin is getting close to being out of the woods. I think Bitcoin is actually getting very close to being out of the woods. in the grand scheme of things. We've been in a bear market for a year. We've dropped 77%. It's not 85%, but again, the market is more mature now, so it kind of makes sense that the market would not undergo as massive of a drop. We've seen things like Cardano drop 90%. We've seen things like Ethereum drop 80+%. We've seen the fall of massive exchanges, and we've also seen several companies like Gemini, Genesis, BlockFi, and many others teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. Now, they haven't actually fallen over the edge just yet, but they're very, very close. So if one more domino falls, then you're going to see Bitcoin drop several $1,000s. If you see BlockFi go bankrupt, Bitcoin drops. If you see the earn programs and a lot of these companies go bankrupt, you see Bitcoin drop $1,000 or more. And it'd be very sad to see these companies go bankrupt, but at the same time, natural selection is a part of the capitalistic endeavor. And the companies that are not able to survive are weeded out, and we have the competition come in and hopefully do a better job. And that's what I'm looking forward to, are the competition coming in and hopefully doing a better job. I'm just hoping that that doesn't result in a lot of bankruptcies, but it results in restructuring, and it results in different companies that do not have very sound monetary principles and policies right now enacting them, such as Binance ensuring us that they don't actually need that BUSD to back up their reserves, because they've tried to draw on that BUSD, they would crash the token. Just so you know, Binance, based on what they've shown us, they have enough reserves to depeg BUSD whenever they want. If for some reason CZ just turns into a madman and wants to launch a nuke, he just says, drop 10,000 BUSD on exchange, and it depegs. It's concerning. It's very concerning. And maybe it would stabilize, maybe it would survive. But I'm not really sure that's the kind of risk we want to take in the cryptocurrency space. And I understand Binance is its own company and it can make its own decision, but it's also the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the industry. So it has a duty to make sure that we are happy and to make sure that we are going to actually continue to use it. So remember, you can use your sats as your weapon to vote here. All right, guys, going to go ahead and read some super chats here and some regular chats. Let's see. Sailor said the only other crypto commodity is Litecoin. Everything else is a security. Maybe. Very well, maybe. I think a lot of cryptocurrencies are probably securities, to be quite honest with you. By the way, boom. Cheers. I don't have any coffee today, but I do have a Monster. I don't drink Monster hardly at all because it's not very good for you. But I got one today, and they do taste pretty good. So, coffee and crypto. Cheers. Love it. Got to have some caffeine. CZ said that the default stablecoin is BUSD and that is people's money, not his. The worst isn't over yet. Potentially. Yeah, it's very potentially not over yet. Smash the like, folks. So show some mutual love and respect for Jebb and his work that he gives us daily. Thank you, Shadrach Frost. Good to see you, my friend. Shout out to you. Didn't get to shout you out earlier. Also, JP said pivot will not happen until something breaks in system because we have the tools to fix it. Yeah, JP Morgan is one to definitely pay very close attention to. Crypto Jebb, check out the volume on Litecoin right now. Thank you, CryptoSec guy. Let's see, what would the volume on Litecoin be doing? I'd be curious about that. I don't see anything abnormal with the volume on Litecoin. I'm not sure what you mean. If you want to give me some more specifics, then you can feel free to do so. Don't worry, Jebb. Just hold on to your BTC until 2025. Yep, that's the plan. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. By the way, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to smash that like button and hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single stream. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. CryptoSec guy gave a super chat, said technically exchange reserves aren't exchange investments, it's their users. If they had that much, that many of their users are holding it. Right, but that means something's wrong. Well, not necessarily, because the thing is, people will deposit onto exchanges, and the exchanges will convert the assets, and so they might be holding US dollar valuation 1-to-1, but that doesn't mean they're holding Bitcoin for Bitcoin, Ethereum for Ethereum, BUSD for BUSD, Tether for Tether. They can go around and move it and change it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, although it is very risky, so long as they actually have enough highly liquid assets to be able to liquidate in the event of a massive run on their exchange. The thing is that I would be very surprised, for example, with Binance. Let me just give you an example here. I would be remarkably surprised with Binance if only 8% of the user funds on the platform are in Ethereum, or only 8% of the user funds on the platform are in BNB. And this is what I'm talking about. Just take a look at that. There must be something going on here with CoinMarketCap. Because CZ said, I mean, surely he wouldn't have posted it. There's got to be more to this story. Never use a token you create as collateral. Maybe they're not saying that this is all collateral. This is just their token allocation. The thing is, 8.45% of their allocation here is BNB. So I'd like to hear what they are talking about with their collateral. Maybe CZ has a tweet up here more recently where he can explain this, but it's just not very clear. CoinMarketCap released a new exchange reserve dashboard feature because it seems to be that these are the deposits, but also the reserves. And this is basically the holdings of the cryptocurrency exchanges themselves, and these holdings represent, at least part of this represent their reserves. That's what seems to be the case. But maybe that's not the case. In which case, then they need to make it a little bit more clear, because this is a little bit of a confusing interface if that's not what they're saying. All information and data relating to the holdings of the third-party wallet addresses are provided by third parties at CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap does not confirm or verify the accuracy or timeliness of such information and data. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, well, let's go ahead and keep reading chat here, and then we're going to continue on with the technical analysis here. We're going to jump back onto Bitcoin and probably look at Ethereum. Hey, Jebb, while I'm thinking about, will you be streaming a show tomorrow and or Friday? Also, have a happy Thanksgiving for your family as well as everyone here in chat. Yes, I will be live tomorrow, and I will be doing something on Friday. I'll give you guys a more official announcement of that for tomorrow, on tomorrow's stream, but I believe I'm going to be doing a stream on Friday. It may be a shorter stream just for the sake of, spending time with our family, because we are taking off Friday, but we will probably be doing a stream on Friday, even if it's only like 20 minutes or something, just to take a look at the market with you guys. Not going to be streaming on Thanksgiving, though. We're going to be spending that time with family. The Classic IT guy said, building cash reserves right now may be the best since the market is going lower. Yes, I think sounds like CZ is taking some huge risk. Yeah, it does sound like CZ is taking some huge risk. And I'm not saying FUD out of Binance. I think it's a great exchange. I just really would like to hear what the justification for that is, because it doesn't seem to line up with what CZ said. Anyway, continuing right along here, let's take a look at some other data here. One of the things I want to look at here with you is Ethereum, because Ethereum has been dropping below some critical support. It was here in this symmetrical triangle pattern, which was a bear pennant forming from all of this price action coming all the way back from the $5,000 run earlier last year and moving into late of last year. We have now broken bearish out of that, and we have seen Ethereum start trending to the downside with pretty clear downtrending levels of support and also downtrending levels of resistance. It's in almost this broadening megaphone pattern right here, and that indicates to us that this market is one that is obviously downtrending along with Bitcoin. Now, the thing that to keep in mind is that this market is actually managing to outpace Bitcoin. You can see here, if we just set the place where it converges right here at the all-time high, you'll be able to see that Bitcoin has been substantially below Ethereum this entire time. Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin almost the entire time from its all-time high. We've seen Ethereum drop 81%. Bitcoin did too. Of course, you can see Bitcoin dropped 74%. So Ethereum actually dropped lower to start with, which you can actually kind of see here because Bitcoin dropped a little bit less. It dropped right down to here. We can just show you that really quickly. Just go ahead and line this up as well as I can. You can see here that Bitcoin dropped about 74% or so, and then Ethereum dropped like 82%. But Ethereum has managed to outperform Bitcoin, probably a lot to do with the Ethereum 2.0 update and all of the on-chain activity over there with all of the transactions, other cryptocurrencies, all of the infrastructure that is built on top of Ethereum is giving it a competitive advantage. But regardless, both of these cryptocurrencies are following each other very closely, even if they are not following each other one for one. The question that I now have is, when Bitcoin, or if Bitcoin drops down to $13,800 or lower, will we see Ethereum drop down to a new low as well? Its current local low for the bear market is $882. Right now, it's trading at $1124. So the question is, should we be looking to invest in Ethereum at this level, or should we be expecting another drop on ETH? Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the cryptocurrency itself, how it is operating, which it is doing very well, and we're very excited about that. So that's a bullish factor. And it also has to do with the amount of hope in the space, because a lot of people are hoping that Ethereum is going to do very well, primarily because Bitcoin has managed to lead the market so well over the last several years, and so Ethereum has gained some of the clout that Bitcoin has garnered. But now that it has a ton of different altcoins built on top of it, Ethereum is able to start holding its own. So I want to see over the next several years whether Ethereum is going to be able to decouple from Bitcoin, because that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the early stages of a cryptocurrency decoupling from Bitcoin in a major way. Ethereum is able to set higher lows in the same time where Bitcoin is setting lower lows. That is an early form of decoupling. And if we do see Ethereum decouple, one of the questions would then be, are we going to see Ethereum actually lead the next bull market? That would be a question I'd like to have the answer to, because you can see just since 2019, we have seen Ethereum go from being, about 13% of Bitcoin's value, all the way up to, as far as market cap, all the way up to like 40% of Bitcoin's value. If we just look at ETH over BTC, you're going to see that there's been a huge run. Ethereum is doing remarkably well against Bitcoin value-wise. And then if you were to look at a similar chart, which I don't even know how we would get that chart up, but you can kind of visualize in your head, hopefully, the value of Ethereum against Bitcoin market cap-wise has grown substantially, from 1/10 of Bitcoin's market cap here in September 7th of 2019 to almost 40% of Bitcoin's market capitalization. And that would be the thing that I'd want to pay attention to here. And here's another concern. While we're just looking at this, you can see Tether, USD Coin, and Binance USD making up several percentage points of total market capitalization in crypto. Tether makes up 8% of all cryptocurrency market capitalization right now. Binance USD makes up 2.74%. If there's an issue with one of those stablecoins and they go down, you watch cryptocurrency drop $200 billion in the span of 2 weeks, like we just saw happen with FTX. That's what would happen if one of those stablecoins goes down. So what I'm saying is that we need to keep a very close eye on the exchanges and on the stablecoins. But for right now, we're talking about ETH. I think that what you're going to see happen is you're going to see ETH do very well through this bear market, and you're going to see ETH continue to maintain at a slight premium over Bitcoin. I'm not saying that Ethereum won't make fresh lows. It very well may. If we see Bitcoin drop down to $12,000 and change, you probably will see Ethereum drop down to $880. If we're dropping down to $880 on ETH is an 18% drop to the downside. Over here on Bitcoin, for Bitcoin to drop to where we're talking about, that would be a 23% drop on Bitcoin if it dropped down to 12,000. So that would not be surprising in the slightest to me. The question I would then have is, does Ethereum lead this bull market or does Bitcoin? I think when you see the bull market kick off, you're going to see Bitcoin lead the bull market. And that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin has such a massive allure to it right now, is a lot of the traditional investors and a lot of the big whales and big money players realize that if they can get into Bitcoin right now, then they are going to be able to hold that Bitcoin and make even more money than they would off of something like an Ethereum, which has not dropped as much. There's also the flip side of that, which is that Ethereum has a lot lower market capitalization than Bitcoin, and it potentially has a lot more room to run as well. So I'd love to hear all of your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Do you think Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin in the bull market and continue gaining dominance, or is Bitcoin going to be the one that takes off like a rocket ship and leaves everything else in its wake, as we've seen during the last bull markets? Love to hear your thoughts on that down below. Good deal. Not sure if BTC will hit $10,000 before the end of 2022, but it'll surely hit 14 soon. I do think it'll hit 14 soon. I don't know about 10, but I think it will hit 14. I feel really bad drinking Monster because I don't drink it anymore, but I wanted some caffeine. All right, let's see. Any other questions you guys have would be good. Let's see. CZ pumping his own coins, do the math. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you don't have to intentionally pump your own coin. If you have your own coin, just the nature of doing business, you're going to pump your own coin. It's kind of how it works. I'm not really faulting him for that. If the coin benefits because their business is doing well, then great. I mean, there's obviously the concern of it being a security, but hopefully that will not come to pass with it being a security. Definitely in hibernation right now. Definitely in a hibernation kind of mode right now. But yes, let's go ahead and take a look at ADA. We can do that, MeTube. Appreciate all of that. Jebb, you're looking and sounding better today. Hope you're starting to feel better. Blessings, brother. Yeah, I am. I'm feeling somewhat better. Not feeling great, but feeling somewhat better. Solana is on the cliff. Yikes. Yeah, let's take a look at ADA and Solana. Try Celsius energy drink. I used to drink Celsius. I don't really drink it anymore. I tend to just drink coffee right now, but it's a special occasion, so I'm having a little bit of Monster, but I very, very, very rarely do. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back onto the chart and take a look at ADA and also old Lana. We need to take a look at old Lana. Old Solana. Cardano right now has made fresh lows, dropping all the way down to 29.5 cents. That is an enticing level. Cardano just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And it's the downward facing Dono is what we might call it. If you guys remember Peter Saddington, he used to be a big YouTuber in the space. There's actually an interview with him up on this channel a couple of years ago. And he was one of the first big YouTubers that actually interviewed on the channel. And he's a fellow believer. I really appreciated his time. And one of the things he used to talk about was Doge. He'd called Doge the downward facing Doge because Dogecoin was just always going down. That was back here, like even before this chart. This is before Binance had it, but it was just trading down, 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 and then boom, blast off, and it took off. And then whoever was holding Doge made a buttload of money. I know people that made hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on Doge. And I also know people that bought Doge after that craze that lost all of their money. So, you know, you got to be careful either way. But anyway, talking about ADA, it's in a similar boat right now. It's in the downward-facing Dono, and we are watching Cardano make fresh lows, fresh lows, fresh lows, but eventually it's going to bottom out. Right? That's the thing, is that Cardano is continuing to drop, but it's also continuing to develop. So if you guys remember, there's a concept I have taught you called IVG. It's not anything other than the intrinsic value gap. And what does that mean? Almost drew the Audi logo there. What is the intrinsic value gap? Well, essentially, the intrinsic value gap is the difference between what a cryptocurrency should be trading at based on bull market conditions, or based on any market conditions, but in this case, we're going to say bull market conditions, and where it's trading at right now. So the industry has shrunk quite substantially market capitalization-wise, but the fundamentals of these different cryptocurrencies have continued to develop. Cardano is a stronger blockchain now than ever before. It is more secure and more transparent and more rigorously tested and has higher throughput than ever before. Now, its ecosystem might not be the hugest thing in the world. If we go to DeFiLlama.com, for example, then we can actually take a look at Cardano, and it's not got the hugest TVL. But even before I show you Cardano's, just remember, there's not a huge TVL in the first place. We've got total TVL sitting up here at the bull market all-time high at $177 billion. Right now, it's at $40 billion. So just keep that in mind before we take a look at Cardano here, because Cardano does have a relatively low TVL, but that's also not the only thing that it is doing. Let me go ahead and see if I can find my Cardano over here. It's been a while since I've looked at this. They have changed things a little bit. Let me find Cardano. If anyone here can help me to find this. There we go. There's Cardano. You can see its TVL jumped all the way up to 321 million. It's currently sitting at 53.17 million. Not huge. There's not a lot of things that have a lot of value on Cardano. But also keep in mind that Cardano is not just built for its layer 3, for its layer 2. There's a ton of things that Cardano does other than its layer 2. Its layer 2 is not its main how would you say, it's not its main value proposition. But there are a ton of different projects that are being built on top of Cardano. And over the next couple of years, I think you will see this number skyrocket and blast off. But regardless, TVL is not really the main driver of a cryptocurrency's valuation in the first place. For example, Ethereum over here does have $23.53 billion in TVL, but it's dropped by 75%. And it has still managed to maintain quite a lot of its value. It's got $23 billion locked on it. Ethereum is worth $138 billion in market cap over here. So just keep that in mind. The layer 2 ecosystem is not the only thing that you are seeing built on here. And of course, you've also got MakerDAO over here and Curve and some of these other projects like Lido and Uniswap and Aave built on top of Ethereum that are bringing a ton of value to the space. Even Coinbase wrapped staked Ethereum. This is liquid staking. So just keep in mind that there's a lot going on Ethereum that makes this a little bit difficult to track. But nevertheless, the fundamentals in the development of Cardano have continued to push forward at an alarming pace over the last several years. And I do think you're going to see a massive run on Cardano during the next bull market as a result of all of that technology and all of the adoption. Something I just want you guys to keep in mind is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, sorry about that, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency promises to have hundreds of billions, even trillions of dollars of use case. And pretty much none of that has been unlocked yet. A lot of people think that we've already made it. Bitcoin's like, in the grand scheme of things, like, and especially the altcoin space, and especially Cardano, they're like 2 years old. They're like 2-year-olds. I have a 2-year-old. My son, he's great. He's awesome. I wouldn't let him drive my car. I wouldn't let him, go snowboarding. I wouldn't let him, ride a motorcycle. He's not ready for it. This industry is a 2-year-old. The altcoin space, Cardano, Solana, even all these other cryptocurrencies. And I'm not even a big fan of Solana, but I'll give this to them. They're young. Give them time. Like, it's gonna take time for the cryptocurrencies to develop in such a way that you're going to be able to see massive returns on them. It just is the way it works. Cardano is one of those. Ethereum is one of those. Ethereum has a several-year head start in adoption on Cardano, so give it time. I do believe you're going to see a massive run on Cardano, but I think a lot of people are saying, oh, Cardano is like 10 years old, when actually Cardano's like 3 years old. It's a lot younger than people think it is. I don't mean actual years, but I'm talking about maturity. It is not anywhere near as mature as it will be one day, especially in the partnerships direction, but it does have the tech to back it up, and it does have the charismatic leader and the community and the ethos and the why and the mission and the vision to back it up. And I do believe Cardano will change things dramatically. Let's take a look here at the chart, though, not just talk the ideology, if you will. Let's take a look through the lens of Lux Algo. If you guys remember, Lux Algo is on sale right now. And Lux Algo's backtesting system is a part of that. This backtesting system is going to help you to understand everything that you need to know about how how the Lux Algo works and the best strategies to use, because there's dozens of indicators in here. That lifetime sale goes through November 29th and then ends forever. I have been told directly that this lifetime sale is the last one and then is not coming back. So make sure you check out this lifetime sale right now with the link in the description box down below. Moving back on over here to Cardano. You can see that Lux Algo here has some different things that it is showing. Let me just go ahead and remove all of the drawings here. You can see several of these levels and several of these lines are actually from Lux Algo. Literally, I just removed all drawings. Everything that's still on this chart is just one part of Lux Algo's premium indicator package. You can see that there was a slightly lower high that formed right here, below this slightly lower high, which was below this lower high, which was below this lower high, below this higher high. And so we've seen just this trend of dropping highs on Cardano, just dropping down and down and down and down. And luckily, it did seem like there was some divergence here, because you can see that there were lower lows along with, and that's what this line is showing. We're on, by the way, Lux Algo SR and Patterns Premium. This is the premium version of the free Smart Money Concepts, which you can see right here. This is Smart Money Concepts. This is a free indicator, highest rated, highest reviewed indicator on TradingView. So make sure you check that out. That's the free version, but this is the paid version, which is in Lux Algo Premium, and it is showing that there was RSI, that there was divergence right here, which was hopefully going to push us to the upside, but Cardano's just been so dang bearish that it dropped through. You can also see these different zones coming in algorithmically that were giving a lot of information. You can see this was a very important zone for Cardano to hold. Makes sense because we were bouncing in and out of it. We fell below it. That ultimately was not what we wanted to see, but it did happen. You can also see here that this is the VPVR maximum, if you will. This is not exactly a VPVR. This is a little bit different, but it does give you kind of a similar idea here, and that shows you that the maximum is right here, and Cardano is very far below it. So SR and Patterns Premium giving us some indications here. We could also come over here into our ranges, probably is what we want to look at. Let's see what we want to have here on Lux Algo SR and Pattern Premium right now. Let's see the trend lines, actually. Let's look at the trend lines and see if anything is showing up. You can see that the SR and Patterns Premium is giving us multiple trend lines. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. You can see SR and Patterns Premium is giving us multiple trend lines. All of this is drawn by Lux Algo, remember, and one of them right here indicating a general trend in the market. This does actually line up with highs, but you can see this trend line is lining up with highs, and then this dashed line right here, I'll just kind of highlight it. This dashed line right here shows the general trend of the market. This is more of a longer-term general trend that's giving you the idea of where the market's going. You see a similar thing was happening over here, blue being bullish, red being bearish. In fact, I think Sean, and I need to ask him, I think Sean actually adopted the red and the blue from me, because I always use red as resistance and blue as support. So I need to check with him and see if he did that rather than doing red and green, because I would be very flattered if they chose the colors based off of the way that I do my coloring. Love to hear back from Sean on that. But anyway, you can see that it's showing that we're in a general downtrend. That's kind of a baseline. You got to figure out the trend, right? Lux Algo is going to help you there. But then you can also see Lux Algo came in pretty clutch here, giving a buy signal, which led on for a little bit. The very moment that we started to drop, we had a confirmed sell signal. You would have been able to see this coming by the fact that we tried to push into the EQ cloud twice here, and then we were not able to sustain it. Right now, you can see that we're setting lower lows, and the downtrend is even sharper. This is a falling wedge indicating we could break to the upside. You could potentially see the market break to the upside out of this falling wedge up to maybe the trend catcher right here, maybe even up to the EQ cloud, but then I wouldn't put too much stock or sats, if you will, in Bitcoin breaking through, in Cardano breaking through the EQ EQ cloud. You'll probably see it rally up to there, up to the EQ cloud here. Again, I'll just go ahead and remove all of this, show you what I'm talking about. Let's see if SRM Patterns Premium will draw that wedge. I think if I fiddled with this enough, it would actually draw the wedge, but I'm going to just give that a minute for right now. But this wedge right here is probably on Cardano going to break up if Bitcoin bounces today, which it is trying to. It's up a couple $100. Then it will probably reject here in the EQ cloud and drop down to where the reversal zone is sitting right there into the take profit. And I would not be at all surprised if you saw fresh lows down to 25 cents on Cardano moving into the next 2 to 3 weeks. Remember, these are daily candles, so this is not something that's going to happen overnight, but it is something that I do expect to come. I think you are going to see newer, lower lows on Cardano because Cardano just, look, guys, Cardano's got the tech, but the adoption really isn't where it could be right now. It did not get heavily adopted in actual use case. It got bought up a lot and adopted a lot in that regard, but it did not get bought up a lot in use case. It is going to, but it just didn't have the time to go and really compete with an Ethereum. It's going to have that happen next bull market. I know there's a lot of projects that are looking to develop on Cardano, but it's just not quite there yet. So what that means is that you have an ultra discount down here to be able to scoop up, and you can find out where those levels are using Lux Algo. Make sure to sign up with the link down below. First link in the description. One Voice 92 said, "Hey Jebb, I don't know if you talked on this with the big players taken out due to scams, scandals, and those companies gave a lot of legitimacy. How do you think it will set the space back up? Will it recover?" Yeah, the space will absolutely recover. There's too much value. There's too much value and value prop in cryptocurrency for the space not to recover. It's going to be okay. But a lot of companies are going to go bankrupt. A lot of companies are going to lose their credibility. A lot of cryptocurrencies are going to go under and lose their credibility. You might see another stablecoin depeg. You might see another exchange go belly up. You might see another lending program or an earning program or even a staking program go upside down. And if that occurs, then yeah, that's going to be bad for Bitcoin. But just remember, Bitcoin is getting talk about IVG, that intrinsic value gap that we talked about earlier. Bitcoin is getting really far into that territory right now. It's dropping very, very far, and so is Ethereum, and so is Cardano. But it is managing to maintain a growing industry of people doing things in crypto. The cryptocurrency space is growing from an industry standpoint. It's just not growing from a market cap standpoint. Coinbase is still managing to add more features, even though their revenue is down 75%. That tells you something right there, and it tells you that the industry and the infrastructure and the valuation and the businesses in crypto are continuing to grow and expand and thrive, even though the market capitalization is not, which, if you understand anything about investment, sets up a dichotomy which is highly profitable and lucrative for investors. That is low prices, high intrinsic value. If you see a house that is worth $75,000 and you're able to buy it for $25,000 and then sell it for $80,000 because it's actually the true value of it is appreciating, but you just managed to get a good discount on it, you're going to take that investment every single time, and you're going to look for money to invest in that and make sure that you're able to go into that, because you're going to make money in the future because it is so massively undervalued. And that's what we're looking at right now in crypto. The potential that crypto has is a $100 trillion industry. What it is actually doing right now is $800 billion, which means that it is hugely undervalued based on everything that it is able to do. One of the things Kevin talks about, Kevin O'Leary, now he's under a lot of flack right now because of what's going on with FTX, but he's right. If we're able to get the banks online using stable coins, and that's able to compete with SWIFT, those stable coins will have hundreds of billions of dollars of value flow into them, which does not directly lead to increased value in Bitcoin, but it does lead to increased interest and investment in crypto. And if you get somebody in crypto through one avenue, it makes the barrier to entry to get into the rest of crypto a whole lot lower because they already took the first step. And if major institutions are doing that, that is where you're going to see a lot of success. Crypto is not a fad. It is here to stay and is going to thrive, and I'm very much looking forward to what the next several years on it look like. Now, I told you we will look at Solana, so we're going to look at Solana here for just a second. We're only going to be able to go for a little bit, but then we're going to read chat and wrap it out. Solana is in a very hard space right now because it had a ton of supply dumped on the market after what happened with FTX. It had support at $27. It flash crashed down below it, and in the span of a week, Solana dropped 66%. This was not really Solana's fault necessarily. This had to do with the tokenomics and where all of the cryptocurrency was sitting. It dropped down to 16. It had a huge supply glut come in and flood its own market cap. And so the thing with Solana is that I do have very real concerns about the amount of cryptocurrency that was given out to VCs and the way that the token allocation was done originally. But what I will say is this: it does have adoption. It does have people using it, and it's not my favorite cryptocurrency in the world. I've made that very clear. I think it's been hacked. It's gone down. we don't need a cryptocurrency that is operating like a game server and going in and out and having hacks and just different things going on that should not be taking place. I don't have time to get into it, but it is a cryptocurrency, whether you like it or not, that is being adopted and does have use case and that people are building on. It's got a good bit of money in TVL. It used to have $10 billion down to $283 million. So I actually didn't realize it dropped that much, but regardless, there is a lot that's built on Solana, even if it's not worth a whole lot right now. But anyway, I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about Solana. I do have my concerns about it. A lot of this TVL dried up because of the drop on Solana's price. It's not my favorite. I'm not invested in it. I'm probably not going to, but I would be interested to hear your opinions. Taking a look at SR and Pattern premiums here. We can look at the channels here and see what that shows us over on LuxAlgo. You can see there's a bunch of different channels here that LuxAlgo shows us. Some of them became extremely valuable back over here. You can see just doing some basic backtesting right here. They were very, very valuable back then. You can see there's not a lot of them that are really doing a whole lot right now because we already dropped through the bottom of them. We're going to need to see those channels restart. Again, this is all inside of the LuxAlgo package. Let's see if there's anything in the exponentials. That's something I definitely wanted to look at was the exponentials. No, don't see anything in here right now. Maybe we'll see something in the channels, or the ranges, I'm sorry. See if the ranges show anything. No, the thing is that LuxAlgo has dropped so much that it can be pretty difficult to figure out what it's actually going to do. So regardless, looking down here on LuxAlgo as well, we can look at the trend at the reversal zones, and you can see that it has a price prediction, a price target of literally -$3. That's how bearish it is. So don't think that's going to happen. But you can see Solana is trying to trade sideways in this falling wedge and get out of here. So we could see a bounce on Solana here over the next several days, breaking to the upside. Again, LuxAlgo predicted this movement. We saw the strong sell signal come in here back when it was up at $29, and it dropped very quickly down here into the reversal zones. So, yeah. The thing is, Solana's in such a massive movement right here, right now, that it's difficult to do analysis on it. I would be very careful about buying Solana right now. I don't know that that would be the best of ideas. But if you truly believe in the project, it is a great price. I do think it'll recover. I don't know if Solana will ever recover to all-time high, and frankly, based on what I know of the way that it was built, that may be for the best. Anyway, guys, do not forget to get LuxAlgo. Use the coupon code down below, or actually use the link down below. The coupon code does not apply on the lifetime sale because it's already 35% off. But you can get LuxAlgo lifetime before the 29th. That will be the last time that you're ever able to get lifetime LuxAlgo and not have to keep paying for it ever again, and you'll also be getting that beta backtesting system, so make sure you check that out with the link in the description box down below. Going to read chat here for just a second, then we're going to wrap it out. Jebb does not breathe. You're right. He is hyped up on Coffee Man. Jebb's the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know about that, but thank you. Hashtag AdaGang. I am still hashtag AdaGang. Thanks, Jebb, for looking into Cardano. Appreciate it. Yep, I do believe in Cardano. I think it's a great project. Can you recommend any hot wallets? If you're looking at a hot wallet, one of them is probably Exodus. I don't have any affiliation with Exodus. I've just used it for a long time. Anyone bullish on Sol? That chart is bearish. Yeah, I'm not very bullish on Cardano. Anyway, guys, if you did, Jebb, totally random, but I miss seeing your cross necklace. The mic sits in front of it now. Thank you for all the education through the years. Got it right here. Boom. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, I used your LuxAlgo code last year and loved it and getting a lifetime, and I'll be getting a lifetime after my workday today. Boom. Thank you very much. I talk as fast as Jebb. I understand him clear. There you go. All right, guys. Well, we're running over here a little bit, so I'm going to have to wrap it out. But before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.